What is up, chat? Today we are reacting to 16 minutes of Michael Jordan facts that will convince you that he's the GOAT. And I'm not gonna lie to you guys. You guys know that I already admitted on my other video that Michael Jordan is the GOAT, man. It was the video to where LeBron fan reacts to how good Michael Jordan is, and that was genuinely crazy, bro. I literally had no way of arguing that. You guys can go check that out on my channel. But with that being said, let's get straight into the video.
Welcome to the Squad Dawkins channel. Here we bring you every fact that will convince you Michael Jordan is the absolute basketball GOAT. Michael Jordan's final game as a Chicago Bull was a legendary and iconic as his sidekick Scottie Pippen was dealing with back problems, and as a result, Jordan had to carry the Bulls. MJ scored 45 of the Bulls' 87 points in that championship clinching game. That means
45%? What? Wait, 45 points? This guy is a menace. How does he do this? Genuinely.
means a 35-year-old Jordan in his final game with the Bulls scored 51.7% of his team's points. Since the NBA and ABA merger in 1976, that is the highest percentage in NBA Finals history. On the evening of October 25th in 1984, MJ's legacy almost ended before it started. The Bulls were playing their first regular season game of the year, and early in the game, Jordan went up for his first official NBA dunk attempt, and it ended up extremely ugly. The defender's leg is caught underneath him, resulting in an awkward and painful landing. Fortunately, after a few moments, young MJ was okay and continued to play in the game. But if that angle had just been slightly different on the landing, it could have resulted in a broken shooting arm or even damage to his neck. As we all know, despite the terrible experience on his first dunk attempt, MJ managed a few successful dunks in his career. Scoring lead.
I have to admit it. I think Jordan is like a way better dunker than LeBron. I gotta be honest. That's just easy to say, man.
Leaders usually don't win championships unless your name is Michael Jordan. In the history of the NBA, there have been a total of 5 players who won the championship while leading the league in scoring. And those players are Joe Fulks, George Mikan, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Michael Jordan, and Shaquille O'Neal. The craziest part is that MJ has done it more times than all other players of NBA history combined. Only
6 times. 6 times. So every time he won, he literally won a score. This guy is different.
Only 2 players in league history have averaged over 30 points and over 10 assists in a single NBA Finals series. These are the 2 players who continue to find themselves on their own list: Michael Jordan and LeBron James. MJ did it in 1991 against the Lakers, while LeBron did it twice, in 2017 and 2018 against the Warriors. Michael Jordan absolutely dominated his era, and no stat may better sum up the extent of his dominance than this one. From November of 1990 until his retirement in 1998, MJ never lost 3 games in a row. That's a streak of 632 games, which is easily the longest streak by a player in NBA history.
I'm sorry for pausing it so much, but he never lost 3 games in a row? What? Are you serious? He was that unstoppable that you couldn't get him to lose 3 games in a row. That is insane.
Even the super team of the Warriors with Kevin Durant couldn't accomplish that same feat of avoiding a 3-game losing streak in any of their 3 seasons together. And this was one of the greatest and arguably the most overpowered team in league. The Chicago Bulls set the NBA record for the greatest regular season with a 72-10 record, which made them the first team in league history to eclipse 70 wins in a season. Not only did the Bulls win 72 games in 1996, but they were extremely close to reaching the 70-win mark in the following season as well. In the 1996-97,
I feel like if the Bulls 1996, 1997, or was it 1996, 1997, or 1995, 1996? You guys correct me if I'm wrong. If they won 70 games, like if they won 70 games, like past the Warriors, like 75, or if they really won like 80, like 180 games, that would have been insane. That probably would have like just said like, yo, that team was the greatest of all time. But I ain't gonna lie, I think the Warriors are better than the Bulls. I'll be honest.
regular season, the Bulls actually had 69 wins heading into their final 2 regular season games. The first game was in Miami against the solid Heat team that they would later meet in the Eastern Conference Finals. The Heat won this regular season contest by 10 points. The final game of the regular season was against their rivals, the New York Knicks. The game was extremely tight throughout, with both teams making incredibly clutch baskets down the stretch. Chicago would have the last shot though, but Pippen, who had a good look, missed it pretty badly. If this shot had gone in, then the Bulls would have achieved something that no other team has done before for the second straight season. Roughly 4 years after his 63-point playoff performance against the Boston Celtics, the GOAT Michael Jordan added to his postseason lore over a 2-game stretch. In the 1988 playoffs, MJ became the first player in NBA history to log back-to-back 50-point games in the playoffs. In Game 1 of a first-round series with the Cleveland Cavaliers, Jordan scored 50 points on 19 for 35 shooting, sinking all 12 of his free throws. Then came Game 2 3 days later on May 1st, 1988. Jordan one-upped himself with a 55-point game against the Cavs. He shot 24 for 45 overall and was 7 for 7 from the free throw line as the Bulls built a 2-0 series edge. The Cavs forced a decisive Game 5.
So it's basically saying that Jordan basically dominated every team that he played. Like, genuinely, every team that he played that had no... They couldn't guard him. They couldn't do anything. That's what it's saying right now. Like, he had no trouble. Dang, wow.
But Jordan delivered there too. His 39 points powered a series-clinching 107-101 Bulls win. There have been many explosive scores throughout the league's history, but there are a few players who could score in bunches while remaining extremely efficient. For example, Tracy McGrady had just 8 games in his career where he scored at least 40 points while shooting at least 60% from the field. Kobe had 23 of those games, and well beyond that is Michael Jordan, who had 70 games where he scored at least 40 points on at least 60% shooting from the field. To put that in perspective, throughout his career, LeBron James has a total of 74 games where he scored at least 40 points, and that's in total, regardless of efficiency. Out of the 74, LeBron shot 60% in only 35 games. MJ is the only player in NBA history to win an MVP, a scoring title, first-team All-Defense and NBA championship, and a Finals MVP all in the same season. And amazingly, he did this 4 times.
Honestly, when you guys told me that he had that type of accolade in 1 year, because I was thinking SGA was crazy this year, how he won MVP, scoring title, he went to the All-Star game and won a championship. You know, I thought that was crazy, but you guys showed me the Jordan stat line when you guys recommended me that video. It was just like, bro, that was insane. The LeBron Michael Jordan comparison video, you guys can go check that out also. That was really insane.
Jordan is the player with the most combinations of scoring titles and all-defensive first-team honors with 9. He's also the only player to win the scoring title and the Defensive Player of the Year award in the same season. His 35-point scoring average is the highest for any Defensive Player of the Year winner. Jordan won the NBA championship and the scoring title in the same season 6 times, most by any player, and his 32.6 scoring average is the highest for any player in a championship season. MJ is the only perimeter player in NBA history to average 30 points in a single season while shooting 50% from the field. And he did it 5 times. Scoring was obviously Jordan's standout skill, and he still holds the all-time record for leading the NBA in total points scored 11 times. Additionally, it is also an all-time record that Jordan led the NBA in scoring 10 times. Also, an all-time record.
How many accolades does this guy have? It's like he checked everything before he retired and then came back because he was just bored. What?
Record is Michael's career regular season scoring average of 30.12 points per game. He also holds the all-time playoff points per game record with 33.5 points per game. In the playoffs, MJ was a killer. He still has the all-time record for most points ever in a playoff game with 63 against the Celtics in 1986. Jordan's first ever game where he scored over 50 points was the 63 in the playoffs. Jordan set a still-standing playoff record in the 1991 Finals against the Lakers when he scored on 13 consecutive field goals without a miss.
Jordan, a spectacular move by Michael Jordan. That's 13 consecutive field goals.
That is a Finals record, but it is also an all-time playoff record. Another all-time
Wow.
playoff record MJ still holds is that he made 24 shots from the field against Cleveland in 1988. Against Detroit in 1991, Jordan made 13 free throws in a quarter, which is still an
What?
all-time playoff record. MJ holds the all-time record with 850.
13 free throws in a quarter. Are you serious? Was he trying to dunk every play, or was he just that unstoppable?
Plus point playoff games. He also holds the all-time playoff record for most 40-plus point games with 38. Another all-time record Jordan holds is another playoff record. He is the only player in NBA history to never once score under 15 points in any playoff game he ever played in. MJ holds
What?
the all-time record by being the only player in NBA history.
I'm gonna try not to pause it as much, but it's like with Jordan, it's like you gotta pause it so much because you gotta like actually like think about these type of stat lines. You're telling me he never scored less than 15 points in a playoff game. You're telling me he scored 20 and bro, what?
To never once score under 20 points in a finals game. The most underrated aspect of MJ's game was definitely his shot blocking. If MJ isn't the greatest shot blocking guard in the history of the game, then he's certainly in the top 3. On defense,
Ooh.
Michael was a very sneaky and intelligent player who could read a defense and respond accordingly as the help defender. Combine that with his insane quickness, agility, and leaping ability, and you have the recipe for an all-time great shot blocking wing. MJ has the most blocks by a guard in a single season, which was a total of 131, and the 1987-88 season. And unsurprisingly, that was the season he won the Defensive Player of the Year. Not only is he first on the all-time list, but he's also in the second spot as he blocked 125 shots in the 1986-87 season. In that 1986-87 season, he began a career-long onslaught on the NBA record book. That year saw him average 37.1 points in the first of 7 consecutive seasons in which he led the league in scoring and topped 30 points per contest.
What?
In the spring of 1989, Bulls coach Doug Collins moved Jordan to the point guard position. As the point guard, Jordan had a streak where he had 7 straight triple-doubles and 10 triple-doubles in 11 games.
He wasn't used to being a point guard, became a point guard, and got 7 straight triple doubles. How? He literally was just becoming a point guard in the NBA. He literally just tried it. And I'm sorry. This honestly, this video makes me feel like LeBron isn't good. What?
In the final 24 games as the point guard, Jordan averaged over 30 points, over 9 rebounds, and over 10 assists, all while being efficient on offense and dominant on defense. On the year, he was first in win shares, first in player efficiency rating, and first in plus minus. As we all know, MJ reached 6 NBA Finals, he has 6 rings, and he missed 6 regular season games in those 6 championship seasons combined. Drafted in 1984, Jordan played all 82 games in his very first season. It was the first of 9 whole seasons where MJ would play all 82 games. However, the following season, MJ sustained a broken foot injury and sat out for almost the entirety of 1985-86 campaign. It is almost incredible that, excluding that season, MJ missed only 7 games in the 12 seasons he played with the Bulls. By MJ, he felt an obligation to play every day.
He felt an obligation to play every game.
Yeah.
I mean, he knew, not just for a television audience, but he knew, and every time he played, there were families, there were others who had saved their money, potentially scalped the ticket in those days, as they called it, to see Michael Jordan play.
Jordan remains one of the most impressive.
I have to speak on that actually. Like NBA players now, bro, they just always want to sit like load management. They're very lazy. LeBron, I'm not gonna lie, LeBron does it too. He always sits too. Michael Jordan, on the other hand, he came to play every game. I have to give him props for that. Big props.
Athletes the NBA has ever seen. By reports, in North Carolina, he ran a 40-yard dash in an amazing 4.3 seconds.
And I'll
What?
never forget this. His sophomore year, ran the 40-yard. Me and Coach Guthers and our trainer, Mark Carnes, we all 3 had hand stopwatches, so we're not professional timers by any means. But he crossed the line, I looked, and I said, wow. I said, Coach Guthers, what'd you get? And he looked at me, and then Mark Davis said, I got 4.39. And Coach Guthers said, I got 4.38. And I said, I did too. And so I waited a couple of, I said, Michael, we missed your start and made a mistake here. Come on, I need you to run it again. And he said, oh, too fast for you, huh? I'll never forget that. And he goes back to the line and runs it again, and all of us got below 4.4 as a sophomore. So he went from 6'4.5" to 6'6" and got faster.
We all know MJ could leap out of the gym, but his speed was ridiculous too. He could run like Deion Sanders. Imagine Klay Thompson's frame combined with Allen Iverson's agility and Russell Westbrook's speed. He might not have been as big or as strong as LeBron James, but Jordan made up for that with elite quickness. Now add that to his 48 inches vertical leap and you have the most athletic player to ever play basketball. MJ's once-in-a-lifetime greatness could be seen as soon as he set foot on the court for the first time. In his rookie season, he took the league by storm, displaying his elite athleticism as he averaged 28.2 points, 6.5 rebounds, 5.9 assists, and 2.4 steals on 51.
Rookie season, 28 points per game. 28 points per game. Rookies now don't even average 20.
0.5% shooting. He finished third in scoring and fourth in steals, but for the Bulls specifically, his value was off the charts as he led his team in points, rebounds, assists, and steals. He's the only rookie in history who's ever done that. With Jordan at the wheel, the Bulls improved 11 wins over the previous season, and even Larry Bird said that he's never seen a player improve a team more than MJ did. Jordan wore number 12 for one game. On February 14, 1990, Jordan scored 49 points wearing number 12 on a loss to the Magic. The only player in NBA history to score more points in a single game while wearing 12 is Hall of Famer George Yardley. Jordan's salary in 1995-96 was $3.85 million, which ranked 32nd in the NBA that season. Players with higher
3.8 million. That is so different. That's like a role player. Not even a role player makes that now. You make like 60 to 100 million. Bro, Jordan probably would have had the biggest contract if he was in NBA right now. What?
salaries that season included Benoit Benjamin, Brian Shaw, Danny Ferry, and Dale Davis. For his career, Jordan was 9 of 18 shooting in the playoffs on potential game-tying or go-ahead shots in the final 24 seconds of the fourth quarter or overtime. He was a perfect 3 of 3 on such shots in games when his team faced elimination and 4 of 7 when his team had an opportunity to clinch. By the end of his tenure with the Bulls, Jordan had developed into the game's best mid-range scorer. His final 2 seasons in Chicago, Jordan made 997 mid-range shots, over 250 more than any other player. In his final season with the Wizards, when he turned 40 years old, Jordan dunked 21 times. To put things into perspective, in his final season with the Lakers, the 37-years-old Kobe Bryant has dunked 4 times. MJ's title teams did not blow leads. In the 6 seasons they won the title, they were 42-0 in the playoffs and 210-5 in the regular season, when leading by 10.
Bro, the record was insane. 42-0?
Or more entering the fourth quarter. Jordan was returning to the NBA as a 38-year-old who was trying to get back into basketball shape. The comeback had plenty of physical obstacles as well. Jordan was heading into his return dealing with tendonitis in his wrist and in both of his knees. During a pickup game that offseason, Ron Artest had broke 2 of Jordan's ribs while playing physical defense on MJ.
One day me and Michael was just like tussling hard. He wanted this position, I'm like, nah, you can't have this position. You know what I'm saying? So when I was trying to deny him and get his arm out the way, my elbow hit him in the ribs, and his ribs cracked.
Jordan would also go on to have fluid drained from his knees multiple times throughout that year. Michael Jordan was joining a Wizards team who had finished the previous season with a 3rd worst record in the entire NBA at 19-63. Despite the fact that they were playing in a much weaker Eastern Conference, they also had the 2nd worst defense in the league in terms of opponents' points per game. The Wizards started the season with a 26-21 record, and on the 47th game, Jordan collided with a teammate and tore his meniscus. He tried to play through the pain and on reduced minutes, but after another 14 games, he had arthroscopic knee surgery to repair the knee and his season was over. Before Jordan's injury occurred, MJ was averaging 25.1 points per game, 6.2 assists, 5.3 rebounds, and 1.5 steals per game. In his last 20 games leading up to his injury, MJ was averaging 27.5 points per game, 6.4 assists, 5.2 rebounds.
27 at that old of an age is really good.
rebounds and 1.3 steals per game on 44% shooting. In his last 10 games leading up to the injury, MJ was averaging 29 points, 6.6 assists, 6.1 rebounds, 1.2 steals on 47% shooting. Also, before Jordan was injured, the Wizards were on a 47-win pace and were well in the playoff hunt. Up to that point, no team in NBA history had ever been a sub-20 win team and gone on to have a winning record the following season. Aging MJ had the Wizards well on their way up until the meniscus happened. Not only did Jordan take one of the worst teams in the league and make them competitive, but had it not been for his knee injury, the Wizards would have had a legitimate shot at the first seed in the Eastern Conference. Jordan started the first 15 games of the 2002-2003 season coming off of the bench. In his second season in Washington, Jordan was the only Wizard to play all 82 games, and he was 40 years old.
What?
He also became the only 40-year-old in NBA history to score over 40 points in a game, which he did several times that season. He also became the oldest player in NBA history to average at least 20 points per game. Tell us in the comments, what do you think is the most
Chat. Oh my God, that was an insane video. That was so crazy, guys. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, man. And, recommend me some more stuff to react to. Yes, yes. LeBron is in the GOAT. Jordan is the GOAT, man. Hey, if you guys made it to the end of the video, comment. What should you guys comment? Comment 2x if you guys made it to the end of the video. But I'll catch y'all next time. Yes, sir.